Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. And today I have a special guest with me, and his name. So from the Daily Sports Show, I'd like you to introduce yourself. He's not in the stream actually with me. We're connected by Discord, and this might be the first of many collabs. So if you want, you may introduce yourself.
Yeah, hey, I'm from the Daily Sports Channel. Yeah, just please sub to the channel, and we're gonna be doing some collabs. We're just gonna be talking and stuff.
And yeah, thanks for coming. Here's the link to subscribe to the Daily Sports Show. We have some people in here already. We have Dylan Lange.
Shorts. I think he put my link in.
Yeah, I did. I did put the link in the chat. Yeah, I did. Okay, so also go subscribe to Pat K. Thank you. Thank you for coming. And let me see what else. So to start, I just want to say that I'm glad to have you here, and I wanted to ask, what were your thoughts on Devonta Smith winning the Heisman?
I thought it was cool that he was the first receiver to win in 30 years, and that's really cool. But the cool thing is that Alabama has had 3 Heisman winners in the last 10 years, and none of them have been quarterbacks. So that's pretty odd because not many people besides quarterbacks get Heisman.
Yeah, that's true. I don't remember when was the last time Alabama had a quarterback either. But however, yeah, he did. It was an amazing season by Devonta Smith and Alabama in general. He really impressed me with his play, and I am curious to see what happens to him in the NFL. Speaking about that,
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I just think it's kind of sad that Trevor Lawrence never got it. He might go down as one of the best college football players to never get the Heisman.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. Like he has done so much that he could have decided he could have it as equally deserving as Devonta Smith. However, like he deserved it, I think. Yeah, he does. He does a lot. Just gonna read the context. I'm doing good, thank you. And by the way, so like, what do you think is gonna happen?
He definitely does.
Yeah. By the way, assuming the national championship could get postponed due to COVID, what do you think is going to happen maybe this Monday or whenever they play at the University of Alabama versus the Ohio State Alabama Crimson Tide versus Ohio State Buckeyes?
I think that'd be a really good game. I just can't see Ohio State really beating Alabama, but if it gets canceled, maybe we'll be at the point where Steve Sarkisian goes to Texas. So maybe that'll affect it because he got hired away to coach at Texas.
Yeah, I heard that. I did see, however, that like Ohio State, like Alabama and the SEC wants to play the game. Ohio State wants to play the game. It's the Big Ten that is holding them back. Essentially, since like it's especially the Big Ten overall that is trying to stop the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, speaking about that, what do you think Steve Sarkisian is going to do at Texas?
Well, I think he'll be a good fit at Texas, kind of in the Big 12. He has some good players like around him, like their running back Bijan Robinson and some other guys. But I just think he'll be a good fit at Texas. But it'll probably take a few years to kind of affect the program. But I think it will pay off eventually, and it will be a good hire because I just think he's a really good offensive mind for football.
Yeah, I'm thinking so as well. Assuming they give him the time to coach there. I think he should do good. I think he should do good at Texas and maybe turn them into a renovated contender. Maybe turn Texas to a contender in the Big 12. So maybe. And speaking about that,
Yeah.
what do you assuming assuming talking about the draft, what do you think the Jets will do after they lost Lawrence to the Jags, which likely Jags will pick Lawrence 1 overall?
Well, I think the Jets they can just stick with Sam Darnold. I think he's got some talent. They've kind of got to build around him though. Maybe get Jamar Chase or that offensive lineman out of Oregon. I just think they got to build around Sam Darnold. He's a pretty decent QB. Without Trevor Lawrence, I think their best choice is to kind of build around Sam Darnold and to just improve on the offensive front.
Yeah, I think that makes sense as well. And assuming that happens, where do you think Fields falls to Justin? If Justin Fields does well in the national championship, could you see does amazingly well, a superhuman type of performance? Do you think the Jags go him number 1 overall, or is still going to be Lawrence no matter what happens in the national championship game?
I still think Lawrence is better, but I could see Justin Fields, if he does have a superhuman performance in the national championship game, I could see him going second to the Jets, and I think he'd be a good fit there because he can run and pass too, and I think he's just a good athlete too, so he'll be pretty good wherever he goes. But if he does have a good performance, I would see him getting second overall to the Jets.
Yeah, I think that as well. Anyway, by the way, if you had to predict, let's say every Power 5 champion next year, who would you pick for every Power 5 champion in the coming year in college football?
So do you want me to give like 5 or 6 possibilities, maybe?
I guess, or maybe just like the winner, in your opinion, of the conference. I guess, if you want. I'll just take a chance to set the comment.
Oh, okay, yeah. So in the Big 12, I think Oklahoma won it this year, like winning their 5th straight. It was either 5th or 6th straight Big 12 title.
I think it was
and
6.
Most of their team's young. I kind of see them winning the Big 12 again. As for the ACC, it's going to be interesting. Clemson's losing Trevor Lawrence and probably Travis Etienne too. So I might see North Carolina getting second, but I still see Clemson. They just have a lot of talent. And let's see, in the SEC, there are kind of 3 possible teams. Alabama, but they're losing Devontae Smith, Mac Jones, and Najee Harris, and Jalen Waddle. Georgia, who's kind of having everybody returning. I think they'll be really good next year and win the SEC East. Texas A&M had a good season. I think they'll be good next year. But the SEC is kind of hard for me to pick right now. In the Pac-12, probably Oregon or USC. But probably USC. Slovis. Kadon Slovis has been good in his first 2 years. So.
Yeah, I'd have the same as well. If I had to pick, I'd go SEC Alabama, because like Alabama's still like Alabama. They're still decent despite all that they lose. They're still being good. In the ACC, same with Clemson. Maybe Miami or North Carolina pulls up a fight. However, I don't know what would happen there. Yeah. Big Ten, I'm gonna have to go with Ohio State, even if they're losing Fields. And
that's the thing about Clemson and Alabama. They both are losing talent, but they both have amazing. Amazing recruiting.
Yeah. Big Ten, I'm gonna have to go with either Ohio State would be a clear cut in my opinion. Big 12, either Oklahoma or Texas. That would be varied, and then maybe Iowa State can do something, and then in And then in maybe the Pac-12, I would have to go
Yeah, but
Oregon.
Iowa State might lose their quarterback.
Yeah, Ohio State might lose their quarterback too. Yeah, but they got the number one recruit in the class, I think, for quarterbacks this year or the next, so they should be pretty good. Yeah, they should be pretty good. Yeah. And let's see what else. And also, by the way, who would be your top 5 in draft? Oh, your top 5 be in draft?
In the draft, players or NFL teams?
Players, like who would get selected, pretty much. Pretty much like who would get selected from each.
I think probably Trevor Lawrence for sure, and then maybe if Justin Fields has a good performance, I think Justin Fields too. Jamar Chase, the wide receiver that opted out for LSU this year, has potential for a top 5. So offensive lineman, I think his name's Panay Sewell or something.
Panay Sewell is his name. Yeah,
and I'm trying to think. Yeah, maybe Zach Wilson. That he could be a sleeper. He had a really good season for BYU.
Yeah, he was pretty good. I'm reading the comments right now. Someone said Oklahoma will be a title contender next year. I think if their defense does good, like they did versus Florida in the Peach Bowl. Yeah, I think they could be. I think Rattler's pretty good. Someone just put their playoff predictions. It's 1 Oklahoma, interesting. 2 Alabama, 3 Georgia, and 4 Clemson. That could. I think Alabama would still be 1. They would still rank Alabama 1 because they're in the SEC.
Wow.
Yeah, well, however, I think they would be. Speaking about playoff predictions, what would yours be?
Oklahoma number 1. That's interesting.
Yeah. Speaking about playoff predictions, what would yours be?
Oklahoma number 1. That's interesting. I think Georgia is going to win the SEC next year. Just how much Alabama's losing might be a little bit of a rebuild year, even though they're going to have good talent. I just think Georgia's going to win the SEC, so I'm going to have Georgia at 1. Oklahoma at 2, Clemson at 3, and then probably the winner of the Big Ten, which would probably be Indiana or Ohio State, who's losing Justin Fields at number 4.
I'd have 1 Alabama, 2 Oklahoma, 3 Clemson, and 4 maybe the Pac-12 winner. I think the Big Ten will. I think like Oregon.
USC maybe.
Yeah, USC maybe or Oregon. I think they can run the table. Like even though
Oregon always has good recruiting.
Yeah, Oregon always has good recruiting. Even though they have to play Ohio State in the season, even though they still have to play Ohio State in the season, like I think Oregon can run the table in the conference, or USC for that matter. And I think like the Big Ten will take a step back, especially since like Ohio State is losing a lot, and we don't know what is losing their quarterback and other players, and we don't know what Indiana will look like next season if they're number 1 or something. Watch out for Iowa, says Chuck.
Let me ask you a question. Who are some of your 5 Heisman contenders for next year, considering that a lot of people are leaving this year to the draft?
Considering I'm going to have number 1, Spencer Rattler, number 2,
I agree.
Sam Howell, number 3, Derek King, who's actually returning next year, number 4, Keenan Slovis, and number 5, I'm trying to think of someone who I could put at number 5. Let me think. I think number 5, I'm just gonna go hot take and say Jaden Daniels. Like he's looked pretty good, even though like Arizona.
The Georgia quarterback.
Yeah, JT Daniels. Yeah.
Yeah, he had four or five really good starts this year.
Yeah, he did pretty good. Like if he wasn't injured, Georgia could have like Georgia actually had a chance to beat Alabama before Stenson Bennett started throwing like 3 or 4 interceptions, which all were points for Alabama. So like if
Yeah,
JT Daniels was playing there, maybe Georgia could have won that game and maybe even the
yeah.
Florida game.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say the same five people, but I'm gonna say in a different order. I'm gonna go Sam Howell 1, Spencer Rattler 2, Derek King 3, Kadon Slovis 4, and JT Daniels 5. But we had the same order for the last
Yeah.
for the last two.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good toss up, especially considering that Spencer Rattler's pretty good. Barry's Sports Nation says his playoff prediction is Alabama, Notre Dame, Texas. Wait, no. This is we mentioned Heisman, but I think he meant Michigan is number 5th ranked or something. Alabama at 1, Notre Dame at 2, A&M at 3, Georgia at 4, and Michigan at 5.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I could
Wait,
see
no,
that.
not Michigan, not Michigan. They did pretty. They've been bad the last this year.
Yeah, they did look bad. They did look bad. And speaking of Michigan, they gave when we were all expecting Harbaugh to get fired, they gave him a 6-year contract. I'm gonna see how much.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, that was
I
crazy.
think they kind of need to fire Harbaugh. They've had good recruiting for the past 10 years or whatever, but just every year they're not doing as good as they should do, and they never beat Ohio State. It feels like.
Yeah. Alabama sports fan says SEC standings. His predictions: 1 Alabama, 2 Georgia, 3 A&M, 4 Florida, 5 Tennessee, 6 Ole Miss. Ole Miss at 6 interesting. 7 Missouri, 8 Auburn, 9 Arkansas, 10 Kentucky, 11 Mississippi State, 12 LSU. Interesting as well. 13 South Carolina, 14 Vanderbilt. I think that could happen. However, I think LSU.
I agree, but I would probably switch Mississippi State with Kentucky and move LSU up ahead of Kentucky also.
Yeah, I think like LSU could take a step up as well. Like
Their whole team's young.
Yeah, their whole team's young and like
they have a lot of talent.
Yeah. Yeah, they have. They really have. And let's see. I'm a Michigan Florida fan. That's nice. We should hire Matt Patricia. If you're talking about Michigan, then I think that would be a good move for them. Even though like it's been bad. On a sec. And by the way, speaking of all of that, by the way, I'm gonna try to look for some games so we can preview them. Oregon, Ohio State. Who would you take for next year?
Now I think a good game because Ohio State's losing Justin Fields. Meanwhile, Oregon isn't losing too much talent, and they've had good recruiting. But I think Oregon could make it close, possibly. They made the Fiesta Bowl this year, but I can't really see them beating Ohio State, who's like number 2 or 3 in recruiting.
Yeah,
but
that
I think
makes
they
sense.
could maybe make it close to Ohio State.
Also, by the way, same. There's also Alabama versus Miami, and now with Derek King coming back, this stuff could get interesting.
Yeah, and Alabama's losing Mac Jones and all those guys. But same situation here. I think Miami could make it close, even have a possible chance at an upset. But I just can't really see them beating Alabama. Alabama just has a lot of talent, and they're a really well-coached team.
Yeah, good point. Notre Dame USC, assuming they play, because I heard from someone they would cancel it. I don't know, but assuming they play USC at Notre Dame, who would you take?
I would actually take an upset, maybe with USC. Just Kadon Slovis coming back. Notre Dame losing their quarterback, Ian Book, and I might just pick an upset for USC.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I might not be correct, but I'm pretty sure next year Georgia and Clemson play as well.
Yeah, Georgia and Clemson play as well next
right?
year. Yeah, I think even though they're losing Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, I'm still gonna have to go with Clemson. However, if Georgia makes it tough for Uiagalelei to find form, then maybe Georgia can do something. However, I think Clemson would take the win.
Yeah, I've got to go with Georgia here. I just every year Georgia's got a really good defense, and their offense is returning a lot of people. And I just think that with the people that Clemson is losing, Georgia's defense will put some pressure on the young Clemson players, and I think Georgia will upset Clemson.
Yeah. Also, speaking by the way, now that I got something for Alabama sports fan, he predicted the ACC and mentioning Notre Dame in there. Do you think Notre Dame should stay in the ACC or return to an independency in 2021?
Honestly, I think the ACC is good for them. Well, I have two sides. I think the ACC is really good because they can prove that they're a team that can beat other good teams like North Carolina and Miami, teams like that. But at the same time, I just can't really see them ever winning the ACC with Clemson ahead of them. So I think I just think they should go to a conference because it's better in most sports. But for football wise, I think maybe an independent school would be better. But maybe being in a conference for sports like basketball or baseball.
Yeah. Trucks asks, who do you think will win the Natty? I think maybe let's see, Clemson, or maybe if, like I said before, let's say Oklahoma gets, gets a better defense, then maybe they could make a push for it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of hard to tell with so many people leaving this year, especially this year. But I kind of have like maybe Oklahoma, Ohio State, Clemson, and the winner of the SEC, which will probably be Georgia, Alabama, or a slight chance of Texas A&M.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they could do that.
So
as well.
yeah, I think this national championship game should be good, but I just think Alabama's the better team.
Yeah, makes sense. That makes.
You know, if Alabama wins, their coach Nick Saban will have the most national championships of all time with 7.
Yeah, I saw that more than some
second,
legends, like And what? Sorry.
The other coach with 6 national championships also coached at Alabama.
Yeah, that was Bear Bryant. I remember those times.
Yeah.
Those were pretty good times. Yeah, one sec. And well, yeah, that was and technically speaking, I'm gonna check for some other game happen. I think we have Louisville, Ole Miss. Who would you take in that?
Louisville didn't have the best season this year, and I'm pretty sure they had a good amount of games canceled, if I'm thinking right. But I think Ole Miss, their coach Lane Kiffin came in and he's making their program better, and I think Ole Miss is gonna just keep getting better, and I think they'll be pretty good next year, like maybe like number 7 or 6 or 8 in the SEC. I've got to take Ole Miss. I just think they've got some talent, and they're the better team.
Yeah, I think so too. Let me see. Read this out loud. Alabama sports fan says Big Ten: 1 Ohio State, 2 Iowa. Interesting. 3 Indiana, 4 Northwestern, 5 Wisconsin, 6 Penn State, 7 Minnesota, 8 Rutgers. 8 Rutgers. Interesting.
Really?
Yeah, 8 Rutgers.
Not 14.
Not in the lower 10s at least. 8 Rutgers, 9 Michigan, 10 Purdue, 11 Maryland, 12 Michigan State, 13 Illinois, 14 Nebraska. Granted, yeah.
I have another game. Texas A&M, Colorado.
Texas A&M. I'm gonna take Texas A&M, even though Colorado's done this year. However, I think they should be good to go for that. I think.
Yeah, I think Colorado will be probably like a top 4 or 5 team, finishing in the Pac-12 next year. But I just think Texas A&M will win that one.
Yeah, I think so as well. I'm gonna keep looking for games.
Indiana and Cincinnati play.
Yeah, I saw that. Cincinnati has a tough schedule. Cincinnati also plays Notre Dame.
So let's predict those 2 games.
I'll
You
take.
can do Notre Dame. I'll do Indiana, I guess.
Okay. For Notre Dame, I think it's going to be a very close game. I'll actually go with the upset for Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati is going to come motivated in that game to once again have the chance to prove themselves that they are a legit
I
team.
agree.
So I think they should win that game, in my opinion.
And I think if Cincinnati were to win one of these two games and go undefeated, besides that, and win their conference, I think they could have a chance at the playoffs next year. But for the Indiana Cincinnati game, I don't know. Like Indiana's quarterback Michael Penix got hurt earlier in the season, but before that they were really good. Like they made a close game to Ohio State. I've got to take Indiana winning that one though.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hold on a sec.
Let's get some other good
Yeah,
games.
I'm gonna see UCF Boise State. I found UCF Boise State.
UCF Boise State. Well, Dylan Gabriel, the UCF quarterback, is returning, and in a lot of articles I've seen, Dylan Gabriel's been a Heisman candidate for next year. I just think UCF is better, and Boise State didn't even win the Mountain West this year. I think UCF.
Good point. That's a good point.
What about Texas, Arkansas?
Texas, Arkansas. I think Texas could win. Granted, they're getting a new head coach, but I'm going to be expecting to see what he'll do. And Arkansas is on the rise, in my opinion. Like they finally won a conference game, so that's a good start. However, I still have to go with Texas to that one.
Agreed. Did you see UCLA moved up in the college football recruiting rankings?
Yeah, I did. We're actually doing pretty good.
To number 28 with 3 4-stars.
Yeah, I did. We're actually doing pretty good this year, which is surprising me a bit.
Yeah, no. The thing that surprises me is Oregon at number 6.
Yeah, that's actually, like Oregon's as well, but I mean, like, yeah, they've been doing very well. The future is bright.
Texas A&M's at number 7.
Texas A&M should be at Oregon. Like should be above like Oregon. I think a couple of teams out should be at Oregon. Again, here's another prediction from Alabama sports fan. Said Big 12, 1 Oklahoma, 2 Texas, 3 Iowa State, 4 Oklahoma State, 5 Kansas State, 6 TCU, 7 West Virginia, 8 Texas Tech, 9 Baylor, and 10 Kansas, which will go 0-12. Now I think that could happen, except
I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I think that this is accurate, unlike 8 Rutgers in the Big Ten. I think that's more accurate.
I have one for you, considering you're a UCLA fan. LSU, UCLA. This might not happen, but if it does, what's your take on this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to sound as least as biased as possible. I mean, yes. Okay, I'm gonna sound as least as biased as possible. UCLA could have actually got like there were some games where like.
They were close to
there was a lot of games for UCLA where they could have it could have won some games where if they had a better defense they could actually like win some of the games that they had lost. For example, versus USC and Colorado. Versus Colorado, they had almost no run game, and I think if they improve on defense, they could beat LSU. However, I wouldn't be surprised if LSU wins that game, but I hope my Bruins can win, and eventually, and if we do, I'd be glad, and we would get a good out of conference game versus a good team, and yeah, I think Bruins by 3. I think, assuming my biased take, I try to sound as much as unbiased as possible.
Yeah. Sticking inside of the Pac-12, what are your top, let's say, 5 Pac-12 teams next year?
Top 5. Number 1, Oregon. Number 2, USC. Number 3, UCLA. Number 4, Arizona State. And number 5, Utah.
Yeah, I agree. Or you mean number 6, Utah?
Well,
you said 5, Arizona State, I think.
No, Arizona State I think was uh 4. I think I said. Well, wait, no, I said Oregon 1, USC 2, UCLA 3, Arizona State 4, and Utah 5. I think the South will be good again. I think the Pac-12 South will be good again, even though like it's
Yeah, me
falling
too.
down. Yeah, even though it has fallen a
Arizona
bit.
State only played like 4 games this year or whatever, but that game where they destroyed Arizona like 63-3 or something.
Yeah, that
And they
was.
were good. They were good last year too. I think Arizona State will be a top 5 finisher in the Pac-12.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they would be. Now switching to since you're a Texas A&M fan, let me try to see if there's a good game that they have.
We played Colorado, but besides that, a lot of easy games.
Yeah,
But,
I saw.
Maybe we could predict the Texas A&M conference games, maybe.
Right. First game, not first game. I think this would be last game because it's a rivalry technically. But first game that it gives me at LSU. I'd take Texas A&M by a touchdown. Because
Yeah,
they
I
have
agree.
looked pretty good.
I think playing in Death Valley is hard.
Yeah, Death Valley is Death Valley is one of the hardest places to get. Um, okay, Pac-12 standings. I'm Alabama sports fan. 1 Oregon, 2 USC, 3 Washington, 4 UCLA, 5 Utah, 6 Stanford. Interesting. 6 Stanford.
I agree with that. Besides Stanford, and I would switch USC to 1 ahead of Oregon.
Okay, that makes sense. But Stanford, Colorado, Arizona State at 8. I kind of disagree with that, but okay. 9.
I think Arizona State should be higher up there.
Yeah, Arizona State should be higher. Then Arizona State or number 9 Cal, 10 Oregon State, 11 Washington State, and 12 Arizona. I think with the exception of Arizona State, I think the bottom is pretty accurate, and the top should be good. Stanford could be more or less. I don't know. I don't know what happened honestly, but I think they would be more or less in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Arizona new coaching hire?
Jed Fish, I'm assuming. I think he could do good. I honestly think he'll be okay. I hope he does good, but I don't see him doing much for Arizona in his first or second year. Maybe give him a couple of time and he could be good. I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll take some time to make Arizona a good program because they've never really been too good of a program. But I think he can make them a little bit better. But I just don't really see them beating Arizona State or ever getting to the Pac-12 championship with USC and UCLA and Arizona State in the Pac-12 South ahead of them.
Yeah, I could agree. Since they have they could be good, but there's too much talent ahead of them to could compete. And let me see. I think let me see for some other schedules.
What do you think about? I have a question for you. What do you think about the Auburn's new coaching hire? They got the Boise State coach. I'm blanking on his name. I think it was Brian.
Yeah, it was Brian Harsin.
Yeah,
Brian Harsin. Oh, yeah. Hold on a sec. Sub SXM. Thank you for coming to the stream. Oh, I forgot to share this. Anyway, I forgot to share this on Discord. But anyway, we still got people here, so I think it's pretty good. Let me see what else. And here are a lot of comments saying Alabama schedule lost to Tennessee. I wouldn't get that. Really? Yeah, he's predicting Alabama's schedule in the comments, and he said lost to Tennessee. It says no. I don't think that would happen. It says Alabama schedule here. I highlighted it, and then it says Miami win, Southern Miss win, New Mexico State win, Mercer win, Arkansas win,
LSU win,
Ole Miss win, and then the Tennessee loss.
I don't see that. I think the only team that they have a chance at losing to is Texas A&M, just because it's an away game and Texas A&M is returning a lot of talent.
Yeah, I think so as well. But
besides Texas A&M game, I don't see them having any other close games besides Texas A&M.
Especially Tennessee, for that matter. because they're
Yeah, especially Tennessee.
yeah, especially
Tennessee finished like 3-7 or something.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. By the way, I found Cincinnati UCF in Cincinnati. On that, I think Cincinnati would win by a field goal, especially considering that both teams are pretty good. But I'm gonna have to go with the home team in cases like
Yeah,
these.
I think games like in Cincinnati's schedule, like UCF and Indiana and Notre Dame, I think all three of those games can affect whether the group of five can ever have a shot at the playoffs. But stuff like that, like Cincinnati having such a great season, going undefeated, makes me think that they need to extend the playoffs to possibly 6 or 8 teams, just to give teams like Cincinnati and some other group of 5 teams a chance. And just getting second or third in the SEC is pretty hard. So, like Texas A&M should have had a shot too. I think they need to extend the playoffs.
Yeah, they should extend the playoffs. Like if you're group of 5 in the 5-team playoff, you literally have to like schedule Alabama, Clemson, and Georgia and beat them all, and you even have a shot at the playoffs. Like
exactly,
yeah. And considering if you even beat them, like that's the only way that you realistically have a shot at the playoff. And like even then, they're gonna and even then the committee is not gonna really like say, oh hey, you did this, so you're gonna be in the playoff. Like there's still gonna be some way to go.
Yeah, exactly. Like 2 or 3 years, and UCF was, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago actually. UCF was 13-0 and beat Auburn in the Peach Bowl. They didn't even have a shot in the playoffs, and they finished like number 7.
Yeah, I finished number 7.
13-0.
Yeah, they were 13-0. Yeah. Yeah, that was that would expose the committee a lot, because like that exposed the committee would do. If I had to expand the playoffs, I'd go either 8 or 16. Now, hold on a sec. So now Alabama sports fans predicting my team. Let me see. So 1, 2, 3. Right now, according to him, we would be 6-1. Then it's two straight losses, 6-3. I'd honestly predict that as well. 6-4 now. USC. Wait. Yeah, I think that could happen. However, let me see what else. Actually, he explained why. Says, we will struggle one game. He says in the Alabama Tennessee thing. That's why. I know we will destroy. See a trap game. We'll lose. Maybe if that happens. No, I mean, well, it's
I don't
Tennessee.
really see that.
Yeah, I don't see that either. But I mean, it could happen if, like, Tennessee does something. Let's talk sports.
I'm going to ask you another question, kind of not on this topic, but just a new topic.
Yeah, what is it?
What do you think winning a New Year's Six Bowl for teams like Iowa State, Texas A&M, or Oklahoma is going to do for the program in the future, like next year? What do you think that could affect?
I think for programs like, let's say, Texas A&M and Iowa State, who have like their first NY6 experience in a while, I think it's going to be a good start for them. I think it's a good start for their climb in the future, I could say.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, for Oklahoma, I think it's like another stepping stone, another like block to like go up and continue to contend like they have usually been doing these past couple of years. I think that would be.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Oklahoma has been to the playoffs already like 3 or 4 times. This was just kind of like another stepping stool to prove maybe they can get to the playoff next year with this New Year's win over Florida.
Yeah, I think the same. I agree completely. And let me see.
Any other good games next year? I'm trying to remember.
Let me see. I think Missouri versus Boston College. I think that could be good.
Oh yeah, Boston College wasn't completely horrible this year in the ACC. They were actually like
they were 4-2 at one point,
which isn't that bad of a.
Like they were 4-2 at one point, entering their game versus Clemson, I think.
Yeah, and they made it close to Clemson. I think Boston College. Who were they playing again?
Boston College, Missouri.
Oh yeah, Missouri was as well ranked at once, and they went 5-5 in the SEC. But just doing that's pretty hard, and it was also their first year with a new coach, so I think that will be good.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Oh, Notre Dame leaving or going back to the ACC?
Hold on a sec.
I'm not sure.
I'm checking right now.
No.
Hold on. I'm
Okay. Well,
it isn't confirmed
anyways,
yet.
okay.
However, there was
Notre
some.
Dame and North Carolina play next year, so let's predict that game. No matter
I
if
think I
they
would
stay or
take
not.
North Carolina. I think they could be pretty good.
Me too.
Especially since like Notre Dame is gonna lose maybe. I don't know what. Like they're gonna lose Ian Book. I'm pretty sure, and I don't know. If like. I don't know if Kyrie and Williams is leaving, but if he is, then that's gonna make stuff hard for
No,
Notre
he's
Dame.
not. He's a sophomore.
Oh right, okay then. Like even then, like he's a pretty good player. Like
Yeah, Kyron Williams is really good.
yeah.
For me, I just think North Carolina's losing their two running backs and their leading receiver, De'Ami Brown. But I just think in the bowl game against Texas A&M, North Carolina proved that even with some talent missing, they can still get other guys involved and stay good. And I've got to take North Carolina in that game.
Yeah. Changing the subject. Do you think Florida falls a little bit after this year, especially considering that they are losing a lot of talent? I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
like.
Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts, Kadarius Toney. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not going to
they'll
say like
fall.
7-5. I'm not going to say 7-5 type of thing, but I think it will be like maybe a 9-3 or 8-4 something. I think, and Georgia should be able to retake the North. I mean South. I mean South easily. Wait, no, East. Sorry, East. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, the SEC East. I think Georgia will retake the SEC East, but I think Florida will still finish with 3 or 4 losses, but definitely not as good. But their backup quarterback played a little bit in the bowl game against Oklahoma, and he was pretty good.
Yeah, I know.
So.
Yeah, I think that would make sense. Okay, I'll see you around then. I'll see you around. By the way, hold on a sec. Let me see. Do you think the air raid, the thing that Mike Leach has invested in, do you think it'll work in the SEC even if you like disappointing first year? Do you think he'll take Mississippi State somewhere, or do you think they would be better off with a different coach?
I think Mike Leach, like, no offense to him, I don't think he's the best coach. Although he's a very good air raid, like, kind of like a good offensive mind, I don't think he's always, like, the best coach. Although he was really good at Washington State, I don't think he's going to make Mississippi State into an SEC contender ever. But I think he'll make them, like, a decent team, maybe finishing with 7 wins every year. But I just never see them taking, like, a big step.
Yeah, that could happen. Like I remember when they were close to making the playoff in 2014. They played they were undefeated. I think heading into the Bama game, like they were undefeated with Dak Prescott. That team was really good.
Dak Prescott and Dan Mullen, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Before Mullen left, that was pretty good. You know. Let me see. Any other game? Run a sec. Let me see. I'm checking for games right now. Who do you think has the easiest out of conference schedule out of all the SEC in your opinion, other than Texas A&M because theirs is really, like, theirs is very easy outside of Colorado.
Texas A&M, they have a very easy one, but besides that, well, Alabama has Miami. I think I can't remember who Florida's playing.
They're playing. Let me check. Let me check Florida 2021 schedule. Let me see. They play. Actually, theirs is pretty easy as well. Besides the Florida State rivalry, they have Samford, USF, and Florida Atlantic. So that's really easy. That should be.
Yeah, I think this year Florida State was worse than Colorado. I think Florida actually has the easiest schedule in the SEC, considering the teams they play besides Florida State. Because Colorado's probably a bit better than Florida State.
Yeah, I think so as well. Who will win the national championship? Like we actually covered this earlier, but to resume again, I think I would either have maybe Clemson or Oklahoma if they improve on defense. It's like their offense is pretty good. Plus they have Spencer Rattler, who is a rumored Heisman candidate. So I think it
Yeah.
should. I think it should be pretty good, in my opinion.
I agree with Oklahoma and Clemson, and then possibly the winner of the SEC, which could maybe be Alabama, Georgia, or possibly Texas A&M. But besides that, I think mostly just those teams.
Yeah, I think that could make sense. A sec. Well, yeah, I think so equally as well.
Pac-12 shorts. What do you think will be the top 4 teams in the ACC next year, considering considering that Notre Dame might not go back, so we're just going to assume they're not going back. But we've already got North Carolina, Clemson, and Miami. But who do you think will be that 4th team in the ACC next year?
That 4th team will be that will be interesting. The 4th team will be interesting. Let me see. Out of these teams,
maybe Boston College or something.
Yeah. Maybe Boston College or NC State. They did pretty well this year, and
I was thinking NC State. Yeah, they had a good record, 9-4.
They actually finished ranked number 23 in the final polls.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though they lost to Kentucky in the bowl, I think they should be good. Still be good this year. College football interesting. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree as well.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered most possible things. Do you have anything left? Any possible subjects for us to talk about?
Honestly, not much. I don't think I don't think I have anything else. So, I think this would wrap up. Unless you have any topic you wants to ask me about or something.
No, I don't have any questions left. Do you?
No, I do not. So, hold on a sec.
Yeah, this was a good collab. Yeah, in the future, guys, we'll do a few more collabs. So
Yeah, we'll likely be collabing in the future. So thank you to all who are watching the stream, and we'll see you guys very soon. Peace out. Bye.
We'll probably do a collab. We'll probably do a collab sometime soon.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye. See ya.
Thanks for watching.